Good evening, everybody, people of the planet Earth. We are the Mother Bunker Files. I'm your host, Not Important, and with us tonight, yet again, is Dr. Deepbluethought, here to lay some thoughts on us. We got the fishbowl of conspiracy.
There it is.
If you have any... oh shit, I can't say conspiracy.
Oh no, you can't say that.
You can't fucking algorithm.
Fishbowl of...
True theorises. If you have true theorises, send them to the email, comment them down below, we'll add them. Mrs. M, your conspiracies will be added this week for next week. Alright, and now let's kick us off. We got a lot. She gave me declassified CIA files.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Nice one. Yep.
Alright. Well, picked out like 4.
Gosh. But why? Okay.
Flat Earth. Flat Earth.
That was hilarious.
Wow. Well, our fan base just dropped off by like 500,000 people.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it is in the Book of Enoch that the Earth is flat. The Book of Enoch has a 364-day calendar with the New Year's starting on March 19th in spring. It starts in spring as opposed to winter. That's where a lot of flat Earth religion comes from, is the Book of Enoch, a book that was taken out of the Bible. A lot of flat earthers will look up the NASA archives, and any photo is apparently digitized by an artist rendering.
The blue marble, they call it.
Yeah.
Famous.
Oh, yeah. You know, you see these photos, and they have like from like 1976 to today, and they're like the same weathering patterns almost. That's with the same thing. So there's that.
Clouds being reproduced.
Question there. There's another one. I flip on Roku, Pluto TV. They have the NASA channel, and it shows you the exact same image for like hours. And I'm like, I feel like we should have hit Australia by now. Like, those satellites are fucking flying. They're going like a couple hundred miles an hour. You see them fly by the day. I'm like, we should hit like America, followed by Asia. Some people will say, well, what about the satellites you see? Apparently those are not computer holograms projected on the dome that's around us.
Oh boy. So we're going to start talking about the dome.
Just take off flat Earth right off the bat. The fate has decided.
I know. So that is just a crazy one. I mean, at this point, it's like... It is becoming ridiculous. Because,
my biggest question would be, like, then what is the dome sat on? Because it has to be sat somewhere. We can't just be this dome.
Well, there's the pillars
space.
of the Earth, of the flat
Earth
that go down, and then they're supported on something else, apparently.
Turtles, all the way down.
Yeah, no. Hey, that was in a Stephen King book. And the end of
Stephen
it.
King.
Right.
It was the original flat Earth. Is that we were on a turtle, and it was just turtles all the way down.
Yeah, now, so now if that was true, so this whole time, of course, we rely completely on NASA for, hey,
the digital
that is the
imaging.
Fact about the whole world. Right?
Yeah, this one alphabet soup that gives us all our information.
Yeah, and if you were to rely on only NASA, you know, that might not be too smart, but okay, let's look at other space agencies around the world. It's strange, because I was looking at this the other day. If you look at the emblems of all the other space agencies in the world, this obviously is not a coincidence. Well, they all have that squiggly double line
fork
thing.
tongue.
What do you call it? The fork tongue. Exactly, the snake's fork tongue. Exactly.
Yeah.
What an amazing coincidence. But they all... Whether it's the Chinese, whether it's the Indian space agencies, whatever agencies of whatever country you can think, European, why is it that they all have this forked tongue?
Well, I'm sure that it's a symbol of something.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
so who's telling the truth here?
That's what I see is now that it's been pointed out to me is that it's the forked tongue.
Yes, exactly.
Not saying that I'm full flat Earth. I'm just
Okay.
it's in the fishbowl. We're talking about.
So that's
it.
the NASA thing. Okay, if we're relying on NASA. Okay, well then what is NASA? How did NASA start up? When did it start up? It came, who started it? Who were the major players? Von Braun, what is he? Oh, he's a Nazi. And then, well, of course we can rely on him. And then even the space race itself, was that even real with Russia?
Yeah.
Because those paperclip scientists that were brought over from, they were in, there's plenty of evidence that they were in fact in collusion, quote unquote, with the Russians. So they were communicating at the same time while giving the impression that, oh my gosh, the Russians, the crazy, dangerous Russians are getting so far. Meanwhile, the actual Nazis, or whatever they happen to call themselves at the time, whether they are, whether they consider themselves Jesuits, whether they consider, basically, let's just cut to the. They're all Satanists.
Yeah.
Let's just get to
the
chase. The New World Order really is all about Satanism. So, New World Order needs these enemies fighting against each other. It needs terrorists. It needs the. So it was supposed to be.
It needs the
communism
Earth to
fighting.
be round, so that we all appear crazy.
Wow. Even, you know what, maybe if you look at the physics of all the other celestial bodies, it really does seem to work out very nicely and very accurately when they are spheres.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
but,
it would make
and
perfect
so it
sense.
does also for the Earth model. However, what if we are completely on a flat Earth, and yet there is a real Earth that is this Earth that is portrayed to us by NASA? How would we know? It may be out there, and we're just living this weird kind of,
Matrix.
Yeah, basically. I mean, the deeper you go, the more it does really seem like as if, okay, we are in this fake matrix. Now, from the quantum mechanical point of view, if you look at it that way, it really just does look exactly like a computer simulation to some really smart people, very much smarter than me. Physicists, quantum physicists.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is like the famous guy who says, "Yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed. It's all a simulation, and in fact, the chances that it's not a simulation are way slimmer than the fact that the chances that it is a simulation."
Crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, and the way they're talking about that is like, okay, if you consider the vastness of space, right? First, you have to believe that there is this vastness of space,
Yep.
and that there are these gigantic distances, and there are this many stars that could harbor planets with life, right? Then it becomes like this astronomical number of planets that can support life, like huge, maybe not infinite, but it's an astronomically massive number of places where intelligent life could have developed at some point. So let's just pretend that Earthlings are an example of intelligent life. Let's just pretend we're intelligent too, as intelligent as some of these guys. But now imagine, of course, it's quite obvious that an intelligent species somewhere in the universe could have come up 1 million years ago, right? Or 2 million, or 1 billion, whatever. They've had that much extra time than us to develop technology, to be able to travel faster than light, or whatever that means, just interdimensionally, because you can go anywhere you want, and time is immaterial. And you're using physics that probably human beings know, some tiny little fraction of genetically human beings know how to use this technology, they know how it works, but it's hidden from us, the masses, So, if you consider all of that, it would... And we're about to get to this point of creating an AI that becomes more powerful and more intelligent than humans, and knows how to propagate itself and create a smarter version of itself with each new generation, with each, where we don't even know what the programming is anymore, where there's no way for us to understand it. We're already at that point, right? And it knows how to design the next generation better than the current generation.
Oh, fuck.
And then it will soon be able to build it too, the hardware to just keep going at an accelerating pace.
That's fucking crazy.
So, but here's the thing. If there was a civilization 1 million years ago that was at this point, don't you think that AI would have already taken over? And even if that civilization, say 1 billion years ago, say genetically they died out or something, the AI, I'm pretty sure, has not died out.
Yeah, no.
And would have just like the Star Trek movies basically have been telling us, it would have continued replicating itself like V'ger.
The Matrix movies, The Matrix, the reality of the system is that they've created an AI that got out of control, and now it's able to fucking replicate itself and update itself.
It knows how to do anti-gravity, which is easy apparently.
Software. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, anti-gravity as well. Oh, yeah.
And use the humans
as batteries.
Yes, but not only use the humans as batteries, but then use them and convince them with incredible logic that the world they're in is different to what it in reality is, right? So it knows what the world is so that they expect. So it knows what the thoughts are going on in their heads and what they expect and how to trick them and get everything it wants out of them. While basically, if it wants to get rid of 90% of them, it has the little programming to do that too. It's already figured out how to do it, you know. Yeah. The reset of Zion using the humans when they get too smart or they start to wake up. It's just part of the whole system. Oh yeah. So I'm pretty sure that already exists. If you look at it in just a statistically, chance type of manner. And then so as Elon Musk says, the chances of us not living in a
simulation.
In a simulation, are actually seems to be smaller than chances of actually living in this apparent universe that we think we live in. So then you could also logically extend that and say that, well, then what the hell are we? Are we actually like this? Do I have this little beard over here? Is that what I really am? Who knows? And that's not even. This is talking about the Matrix. We kind of shifted over, but flat Earth is part of it. So we've been convinced that we're on this sphere floating around a sun, in the middle of nowhere, tiny little corner of this one little galaxy out of hundreds of billions of these galaxies. Wow! Yep. With hundreds of billions of stars, and so much life could be teeming in just this one. That probably is in this one galaxy alone. One of these guys at some point obviously has figured out how to go to any point in the universe. I think humans know how to do this. There are some humans, part of this breakaway civilization, that knows how to travel interdimensionally using this technology, whether they got it off of other aliens in the first place or, figured it out and just left us all behind. Because, of course, to have extreme power over everybody else is going to be just
top secret.
Keep the knowledge to yourself. That's all you need to do.
Top secret. Highly classified.
Top secret. Oh, yeah. So this, who knows what.
That was a website above top secret.
That's right. Yeah, it's a good one. Or if it's still.
I haven't gone there in like fucking years.
I think I recently checked it out. I think it's
still going.
Yeah. So then, the flat Earth stuff kind of then leads you to this whole. The whole globe there. If it's not a globe, and the most simple experiment is to do the whole get your real good lens and look out at a building. You can do the calculation on we know what the radius and the circumference of the Earth is. You should be able to do the calculation of if I go this far out, say 20 or 30 miles. You should know how this building should drop down.
5%.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's 5% drop over 30 miles.
And you should be able to calculate it exactly. And now, when you use your telescopic lens,
the thing,
you'll know what you should be able to see and what you shouldn't. And then a lot of these experiments done like this online seem to show that you're seeing buildings or boats or something that should have dipped down over the horizon by now. So that's already worrying. And I have not gone any further than that. Cause,
once you go full flat Earth, you're gone. You are written off as a crazy fuck.
My mind is already blown by everything else. I mean, who knew that the whole of freaking Hollywood is vampires? I didn't, but now I know.
I could have guessed that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they made enough movies about it.
Makes total sense to me. But we're getting off topic. If we draw the Hollywood vampires, then we'll talk about the Hollywood vampires.
I did see squirrels. That's the closest that I
you
saw.
did see the squirrels?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by squirrels, but I saw them.
I mean squirrels.
Okay. I didn't know that was a conspiracy.
It's my conspiracy.
That's it. Oh, wow, there we go. There's the ultimate Area 51. I don't even think Area 51 is much of a conspiracy place anymore.
Oh, no.
Maybe
They've probably moved their location, but it's still pretty classified. There's... Did you
Nevada
ever see the guy that said that he worked at another classified location called S4? Which was
familiar.
a military base inside of a hill that overlooked Area 51. So there's like this bunker beside a bunker that's more classified than the bunker beside it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's S4 sounds familiar, but yeah.
So I remember S4 from like the 5th grade. Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
So Area 51, Nevada, also testing ground for nuclear weapons in the early days. So also, what I've heard is, as well as the swamp gas incident.
Yeah.
Right. Which was perfectly reported in the news as being a circular disc shot down and reported, right, in Roswell. Remember that?
Yeah.
Then one day later, it was all covered up.
Yeah.
And suddenly it was a weather balloon, and
yeah.
there was a picture of this pathetic-looking weather balloon. Even though I've seen some pictures, and you've probably seen them, where they have where they have the little pieces of metal with even some writing on it. Have you seen that? Where
yeah. And it.
I'd like to have a look at that writing in more detail, man. That would be amazing. Now, apparently they have. Well, this goes deep into how UFOs and everything fly, but I don't think I want to go into all of that stuff yet, because I would love to go into that on another date, though, but that goes real deep. And that gets philosophical and spiritual.
Area 51 from Dr. Deepbluethought. Hit that like button, hit that comment section down below.
It's not even that that they do much at Area 51 in terms of like UFOs and aliens compared to where they did. Well, what they did in the past, but that was supposed to be where the Roswell craft was taken. There was supposed to be one live alien that was captured, and there was, according to the theory,
they were actually able to communicate with a little bit.
Was it? Is that right?
Yeah.
I've heard about that in an enclosed cage kind of thing, and it could communicate
only
psychically. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard about that too. So now apparently there's other underground bases, deep underground military bases or DUMs in other locations that are that have even more advanced stuff going on. But yeah, there are still things going on. And coincidentally, another thing in that same area is known for the underground cities that have been there that the Indians knew about.
My fucking God!
In the same place. Yes.
Yeah.
Now that cannot be pure coincidence either. Who are the dwellers? Who were the dwellers? Who made it? Who are they? Well, there we go into like another whole super deep
We'll
area.
have the fucking government fucking knocking down my door. Fucking.
But.
Oh shit! Yeah. No, I know there was this guy that it was on I think it was Hangar 1 on History Channel, and he talked about they were digging a tunnel for the government, and he got sent down, and there's like this. He went into this cavern, and there were a bunch of aliens, and like he opened fire, and one of them shot a laser beam, and it went through his fingers
hand is all burnt
and to his stomach. Yep. And like he showed them the thing, and then he wound up dead in
a few days later,
couple weeks after going public with it.
I've seen, I know exactly who you mean.
I'm
gonna fucking
have the government fucking FBI knocking down my door, talking about aliens.
What's his name? No, he's a very famous guy. He did. Yeah. You can find him on YouTube. I forget his name now. It'll come to me. But yeah, you can see his hand is awful melt.
Like half of his hand is missing. Like you don't get that from fucking bicycle.
When you listen to him and you listen to him talking, he really does sound as if he's giving a lot of good information, and he doesn't sound like he's making it up. He doesn't sound like he's just making it up. Yeah. And
then he was just wound up dead.
Yeah, he was warning about the fact that they had tried to drive him off the road and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's right. And the more you hear, it just becomes more and more believable. So,
Yeah, aliens
coincidentally,
are one of those
there are
topics
underground
that I
cities
don't
over
tend to
there.
fuck with, but
now the
go
Native
on.
Americans have legends going back to about 12,000, 13,000 years ago that they had to hide out for a certain period of time underground. And this is like a worldwide thing, which is not really reported very much, but about 12.5 or 12,000 years ago, there was a mini, not ice age, but a mini die-off of the mega fauna, so the large mammals in lots of countries.
Yeah.
So it's always been assumed, it's to do with humans moving in there when they moved to Australia or New Zealand. They killed off these giant lizards that were like huge and everything. But there's also evidence now of a meteorite impact where it did cause global blackouts. And so it was of sun, which means people actually lived underground. So you got like the nuclear winter almost effect.
Yeah.
Because of this
the
asteroid.
clouds and
And so
acid
people
rain.
went underground and lived there. Now they have these legends and everything, and then they came back out again. But many, it may even be this. It may even be every single Native American tribe has some kind of legend to do with being underground way back in their distant past, and then coming out when it was, years later. So they lived underground. But I don't want to be quoted on that one, but it's actually...
If you know the tale, email me at motherbunker@protonmail.com.
But it kind of explains how through these underground connected cities and channels throughout the world and where people had to live for certain periods of time, that you suddenly have blue-eyed, black-haired Native Americans here, and you have, just all this, the ones in the north of the country almost look Asian, right?
Yeah.
Land bridges and things were crossed over, all underground tunnels, and then they all came back out again about 2,500 years ago. So that's kind of like the connection with Area 51 is that those underground cities, one of the massive ones is right there in that valley. And guess what? Another one happens to be underneath the Great Pyramids in Egypt. A gigantic complex of tunnels are underground. There is a hidden city under there. One of the entrances is through the Sphinx's skull. You go through that and you go down. It could be the Library of Alexandria, hidden away books, etc. There is stuff hidden there, and it has been reported with ground-penetrating radar how gigantic this complex is. But it's not the only one in the world. And guess what? In Colorado, where there are pyramids, where there are in Death Valley, close to Death, where there are pyramids, massive quantities of gold, deep underground, not military bases, well, there may be, but there's cities. So these deep underground military bases may be like coinciding with places that they already know that they are these underground cities, where there are legends of alien species already living there, or different from us. They may not be alien. They may actually belong here even earlier than us.
Where at in Colorado?
Close to a place where, actually I can tell you exactly, because there are still old maps, but I don't know if I want to actually mention things, because those are the kind of places, if you go there and you're trying to go there on your own, off of the beaten route, off of the tourist route, you will be stopped, and you will be made to turn around at the, with the machine guns and or Black Hawk helicopters pointing at you.
Yeah. So for your own safety, we are going to omit the location of...
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier today, so actually, strangely enough, I was looking at that location earlier
we
today.
almost went into the... Shit.
Talking of Black Hawk helicopters, there was a Black Hawk helicopters in LA flying over in there. Oh, urban training.
Yeah,
thingy.
urban training exercises.
You don't do urban training in LA in the middle of the streets with no warning, and suddenly all the lights out on 8 Black Hawk helicopters all diving in and bombs going off on
using live ammunition
on a certain building something to do with Venezuela.
Oh,
yeah, and all the windows were blown out, and
Jesus.
One of these helicopters, and there's video of the helicopters being sprayed down with some kind of chemical, which tells you which would be the normal thing to do if there's biologicals involved.
Which I believe
could be
they're
bacterial.
Going to start using biologicals again.
Oh, so that was an attempt. Is what is the truthery, whatever you want to call it. Truthspiracy. The truthspiracy to do with that. The Black Hawk helicopters in LA recently.
Yeah.
Actually goes as deep as this. It was something to do with a building that is something to do with Venezuela. I can't remember the full details, but basically they were trying to kill everybody. Yeah. They were going to release a biological contagion that would spread real quickly and kill as many as possible. Hopefully, they hoped at least the whole of America would be massively reduced. They're trying to pull out all the stops because this is their last stand.
But hey, at least the MMR vaccine doesn't cause autism. Even though
does it?
It might change your DNA a little bit, but it doesn't have formaldehyde or mercury in it. That's what I fucking said. It's from what we know, from what it's on the CDC.
What do we even know? Here's the thing: in several countries, after testing, they have found nothing in there that could give the
immunity?
Give you the immunity for the disease that we're telling you. There was nothing in there. There is no vaccine in some of these. So these vaccine for I think it was a specific country, maybe Italy, maybe France, where they just said, okay, screw you. We're not taking any of these from you, the farmer. Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've got to look. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's getting blatantly ridiculous. And the fact that we're just being forced to just take this. Otherwise, sorry, you just have to voluntarily resign. That was my option. Either you take this and then get this injection or something, which, we're not going to tell you what's in it. Sorry. Stop asking us, you asshole.
Yeah.
You conspiracy theory nut job. Yeah, well, stop asking us what we're injecting into your body to bypass your digestive system and go straight into your bloodstream, and it might even bypass your blood-brain barrier and go straight to your brain, which you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Stop asking us these stupid questions. Just because we haven't studied anything for the last 30 years, just because there have been no clinical trials on any of these vaccines for the last 30, how dare you insinuate? How dare you? Just because we put aluminum in there, just because we put mercury, aluminum for your children, heavy metals in such massive quantities, just because the children here are more unhealthy than many, many, many dozens of other countries now.
Oh, yeah. By all means. What the fuck is in our... We're going off on a tangent.
That's true. I thought we were talking about flat Earth a moment ago.
We were on Area 51.
That's true.
And we wonder why a UFO doesn't just fly
And
by,
you know what? All of this
said.
is obviously related. It's all connected. It's
Fate
all part of the gigantic truth theory.
Through me.
That is against us, yeah. All right, let's see the next one.
Let's see the next one.
Here we go.
Straight up.
Whoa.
No delay.
Okay, this is I don't know. This must be the comedy relief in between.
Fucking goddamn squirrels. All right, I have a fucking thing. Okay, so this was when I was getting MK Ultra, right? This was during like my supposed to be senior year. And, like, everything I did, like, just got communicated somewhere. What? And I'm like, I realized, like, it's the goddamn squirrels. The fucking squirrels. Which are, like, I'd be smoking a cigarette and here a squirrel would pop up. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking motherfucker.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. So I believe, and I can't confirm this. This is just one of my fucking crazy-ass tangents. That the squirrels are being used as
spies.
Bio-robots that are able to fucking convey information, because where you're going to have a meeting to, be alone and everything, out in the woods, out in the park, here comes a little happy little squirrel, and it's going to record your conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it. That's what I think, and I have yet to be prove myself otherwise. That some of these squirrels.
Well, the ancient Greeks were already doing that with their robotic owl.
Yeah.
You've never seen the movie? What's it called again?
I can tell you.
There's the spy owl. Remember that?
That is way out there.
What was it called? It was called Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans.
There's a metallic owl.
1980 version?
Probably like the 80s,
yeah.
And the owl is made of metal, and it's basically spying.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a similar theme,
yeah.
Whereas mechanized animatronics,
mm-hmm.
something to resemble something real, and it's really just spying on the people.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was made
for your safety. It is spying on you for your safety,
yeah.
for your own safety, as it always is. It's always.
Do you believe that such a thing is even possible?
Yeah.
Well, look, they can spy on me by looking through the signals that are in your brain and translating them into the pictures that your brain is interpreting. Do you believe that? They actually have the technology to do
but
that.
I will go one step further. Okay. With all these Satanists, as you said, mm-hmm. and I talked about this in a video that I posted earlier, that they can just have demons in your room or in the room with us. And
the demons are
relay information as spies because we can't see them, but they can communicate with them via these hallucinogenic drugs that we aren't allowed to have, but they can have.
Well, and then they like to be possessed by these demons.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Hillary loves it, according to Bill.
Yeah.
He was talking about the Haiti and the being taken over by demons and how great it felt and how it was, like, powerful and,
Yeah, so
that's like the spiritual way of being taken over. But then in terms of like the squirrels and spying, okay, of course they're doing it. I mean, geez, in the 60s they could remotely have a bull charging towards a man and then boom, it just stopped the moment they press a button.
Oh, yeah.
And that was maybe with implants, but later they were doing it with no implants.
Yeah, I believe it.
And so if they can control a bull from like pure anger and it's like about to kill a human to just completely stop at the turn of a dime with a push of a button, then I wonder how. And that's a mammal. It's a pretty intelligent mammal. I wonder what effect they can have on humans. It cannot be that much further along to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's probably not. So that's kind of scary.
All right.
And talking to squirrels, there's not just the genetic engineering of animals, to be used as weapons, like, for example, genetically engineered mosquitoes.
Yep.
There's also the artificial tiny little, there's robots that are so small they can be injected into us.
Nanobots?
We can't do much about that because we can't even see them. Then and they could be DNA based, so they got programming in there, right? Mm-hmm. Plus, they have the programming of how to build themselves using the proteins and the nutrients that are in us. So they can be injected in a very small form and a non-fully formed form, which then goes inside and knows how to construct itself because the instructions are in that DNA. So that's possible, and it is being done, and it has been being done, and your good old military, because they always love us.
Oh, yeah.
Is also building tiny little real size, so the size of the real things, flies, mosquitoes, robotized. Those all have, of course, poisons on board, little explosives on board, to just kill in one shot. Nothing you can stop. Can you stop a mosquito until it's already landed? No, you won't even know until it's done its job.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And we're going to take a break.
Plus the cameras.
So should you. Back in now. All right, we're back. We're back, and we're going to pick another topic. If you would like to see Mother Bunker live, which would just be as dark as the original videos, because I put tape over my video camera there, which you should too, if you know what's good for you. If you don't want them spying in, fucking not Elon Musk, Snowden, and the guy from Facebook. I can never. Mark Zuckerberg does the same thing, and you should too, because internet. All right, on to the next one. To the next one.
The Oscars.
The Oscars. That's a little bit old.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I just didn't want to watch it.
Well, they're doing these rituals in our
God.
plain faces. All of everything that they do, an awards ceremony, the Super Bowl, the tournaments, the whatever, is a ritual to further their Satanist plot.
Satanic.
Believe me.
Oscars is satanic.
Believe me. Oh, yeah. And Children of It's Real Out Here does an excellent breakdown of the color coding and, yeah, what's going on. It was Alice in Wonderland this year.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
wow.
go figure.
Wow.
Yeah,
What is Wonderland?
Yeah, the Queen of Hearts.
Celestial.
You had the Mad Hatter. That guy in a dress.
Oh.
Which they're always putting a black people
Of
in
course.
the dress.
Everybody has to be ridiculed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the ridicule ceremony for the Freemasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Freemasons with their
And bumblebees.
bumblebees.
Yeah, bumblebees is another thing.
Is that right?
It's another symbol.
Whoa.
Yeah. Which is why my hat doesn't have a stripe. It just has the underline. I didn't do like 3 underlines because then people would say that it's a... My wife just likes yellow. Is the thing. So I had a yellow marker. I wrote her name on lighters with a fabric marker. Here, pick another one.
Oh, gun right. Is that gun rights?
That is gun rights.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, they want to get rid of all our gun rights.
Oh, yeah. Especially if you want a totalitarian, if you want a socialized government, you want to take away people's gun rights so that they can't rise up and create a new government, which I'm an advocate for. I'm not for war. I'm just for civil liberties.
And a government to
guns.
protect your liberties.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Keep you safe. Protect you.
Liberty is freedoms provided by a government. That's what liberty means. Also, we are in sacrificial season.
Oh,
up until at the end of March, I think, is the sacrificial season. So be prepared for false shootings. Don't go into big crowds. Just for safety reasons. I'm not saying be paranoid and don't live your life the way you want to, but just know that there are these rituals that are going on that they need blood for. If you're a conspiracy theorist, then you already know. I can't say that word. God damn it.
Well,
strike.
They don't want you to have guns.
Yeah. Look at France. France has been protesting for like 16 weeks straight. Every weekend they go out and protest. And they can't convince the government to go against or for what they're saying. And if they had guns, they'd be in a revolution right now. I'm not promoting violence. I'm not promoting a revolution. But I am saying that it is something that protects you from a tyrannical government, which is always possible.
And a tyrannical government has been known to arm the criminals and just release them fully armed. And all they have to do is shoot down those protesters. That's all they got to do. Now, this has been done in other governments in the past before, so that's kind of disgusting how your gun rights are going to be taken away, but the guns are going to be given only to the criminals to just wipe you out. Okay, and also, if you have like any kind of economic crisis in any country, what's going to happen? You have to protect your family and your wealth, even your food at some point.
Yeah, especially food.
And we may be getting to one of these situations. I mean, we are getting to this situation globally.
It is very close, yes.
So now, how are you going to protect your wealth with silver and gold? Probably, but how are you going to protect the silver and gold? You're going to have your guns.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have brass. Brass is what we say, collecting brass.
Gold, silver, and brass. Yeah, it may even be more, I mean, it's more important, actually, than gold and silver, because just having your guns and your ammo and knowing how to use them will protect your life, protect your wealth if you have wealth in something that's going to preserve your wealth, such as hard assets in your hand. Mm-hmm. But then you're going to have to be able to protect them.
Yeah.
And if you've gotten your gun rights all taken away, then you can no longer protect that. Also, you can't protect your life. Now, also, if you have illegal immigrants coming in, just being welcomed in hundreds, and if not hundreds per day, if not millions per year, completely illegal. You don't know what they're doing. They come across the southern border, and they're criminal. There may be some of them who are criminals, catch and release. They're released into the environment. And now, what are you going to do? You would want to be able to protect your life against these illegal immigrants,
which have been known to start some shit. I want to put this out there because I know a lot of people that are like, "Oh yeah, we don't need a wall." I speak French. Like, if you're gonna be in not support of the wall, learn some fucking Spanish because that's like what you're gonna have to deal with, right? That's what I say. If you're not in favor of the wall, you need to be learning some Spanish, and not French or German or whatever Chinese, because people are going to be coming in here, and even if they're coming in here legally, they might still have a language barrier. So
Sweden's the rape capital of the world, but has become the rape capital of the world, and you can bet that they're not armed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that you can bet that they are helpless. And you can also bet that having gun rights will protect them.
Oh yeah,
against being raped.
Yeah, and they want to push this narrative of like, oh my god, a guy with a gun is so evil. I need to fear him. That kind of stuff. It's not the gun isn't gonna like fire itself or anything like that. You know, a gun is more for protection of thyself. Those willing to give up rights for freedom deserve neither.
Plus, we can look at many examples of societies who have had their gun rights taken away, and then Russia. Very shortly afterwards,
Germany,
millions of those citizens killed.
France,
by their own government.
Britain,
Russia,
Venezuela.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Russia.
Venezuela, they're fighting with fucking fireworks. Like, Jesus goddamn Christ.
Poor people. They've already, like, eaten their animals.
Oh, yeah, their pets.
Whatever wealth is in... I mean, it's one of the richest oil-rich countries in the world. And has lots of resources and just had another whole bunch of... They just had to sell off a whole bunch of gold again. Just to like survive, and you know, so if gold was not very valuable, and gold is not really money, as the Federal Reserve is telling us, and you know, it just has historical value. You know, it's not actually money.
Oh yeah, no.
According to exactly.
Apparently, you should be able to anything that's like face value, like your silver eagles, your golden eagles. You should be able to like go to a retail and purchase it with the purchasing power. Apparently it is actual USD currency now. That's what I saw from the US Mint commercial.
Interesting.
God, I must say, I got a 10th ounce of gold, USD, and I thought that it would be 999.39 pure gold, and it actually is just 20. It's 91% pure gold, and you can tell through the shininess, the gleam, So now I'm going to be buying Canadian gold or South African gold, 10th ounce, because I want actual pure gold and not this watered down shit.
Yeah, I'm going for collectors coins from 1800 something if I'm getting gold, and because in 2008 after 2008 when gold really did skyrocket, yeah, it did go up significantly enough that you could notice it. Well, the price during that period of time, the price of these collectors coins actually accelerated faster than regular per ounce gold. So that's one of the reasons why I got the collector's coins. If I'm collecting gold, which I'm not right now,
but you have your reserves.
I have been, in the past. I'm going for those ones.
Yeah.
Just because it's a collector's coin, less likely to be confiscated, and more of a chance of it accelerating to higher levels at the beginning of the gold rocket.
Yeah. Which is right around the corner.
It's right around. So is the silver rocket. The silver rocket, I think, is going to be even more amazing because the fakeness and the suppression of the gold price. My God, we got another silver sale. Just a few days ago, it got bashed down again to below $15 per ounce, or maybe even below.
And who's selling this? Is it physical or is it paper stocks?
Oh,
and
well,
I have a feeling that it's paper stocks.
It's all paper stocks. It's all paper stocks, but those are what are used to, quote unquote, fix the price of the actual real physical asset, which is a bunch of BS, a bunch of bullshit. The paper gold is just futures contracts.
Yeah.
So it's just contracts where they're making a bet that it's going to be worth this low at some point in the future. Are there any buyers for this low, super low price? Yes, there have been so far.
Absolutely. I will take it at its cheapest.
So they can put this futures contracts out there. They have a whole bunch of buyers. They buy it, and then it goes into the one that has been bought is this papers futures contracts, put into people's retirements accounts, etc., and all of that will disappear.
Yeah, if it is.
So if people think they have some paper gold, they have a contract for some gold that they believe that they're gonna have in their hand when they feel like asking for it. Well, that's just not going to happen. They will not have. There will be no gold for them. Basically, the ones same with the silver. If it's not in your hand, you might as well just remember you don't have it.
Yeah.
Just realize you don't have it.
Hold it,
and you better get a hold of it real soon, because soon there's going to come a time where it's going to be impossible to get a hold of silver and impossible to get a hold of gold. Right now, in fact, if you try and order some silver, depending on what company you call, they may have some difficult times getting a hold of what you've just requested.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
even though the price may seem so ridiculously cheap, it doesn't mean it's actually available.
Yeah, and I've seen it go sold out a few times, which is why I went with I went to a coin collector last week to go and get the 2019 Silver Eagles, just to make sure that I got it on hand, and I'm not waiting for it.
That's good. Well, I feel good when I trade with somebody for any kind of
precious metal
trading value, even and I pay them with real silver that I have in my hand, and boy, I feel that I'm giving so much value. Yet, some of the people that I give this silver to don't really know how valuable it is.
They don't have any idea.
They don't quite know, which is a pity, but yeah. But, yep. Gun rights, though, if they try and take that away, boy, that's the end of America. It's one of the last bastions of real freedom. I mean, it's real close to having, very little freedom, but the fact that we still have some gun rights gives some freedom here.
The First Amendment, we barely have the Second Amendment, and we barely have the Fifth Amendment. the Fifth Amendment is going really, really quick. That's innocent until proven guilty.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
And a lot of the times you see these people go up and face court trials and they're guilty until proven innocent. Which is, I don't want to live in that society, man. Fuck that. Like that's McCarthyism.
This whole bullshit Kavanaugh stuff.
Kavanaugh,
I mean, that's an example right there.
Michael Cohen.
I know. Oh, they're just guilty. Kavanaugh's just guilty. We just, all of Hollywood is jumping, down Kavanaugh's
The Cohen
throat
case
with
turned
zero
into
evidence.
A fucking, like,
What a farce.
a roast.
What
a
farce.
roast. And I'm fucking face palming it. And it's like, Mr. Cohen, you've lied in the past. And how do we know that you are telling the truth? And Michael Cohen's like, like, fucking Trump has the 45th floor of Israelis and Russians, and, like, motherfucker, prove something. That's what you gotta do. You gotta prove something. And maybe, it's just a fucking witch hunt, and we're wasting our goddamn time.
So
My
much
God,
time and
I've
money.
seen worse fucking presidents in office that didn't face any trials whatsoever, but we're still like just witch hunting because, oh my God.
Even the impeachment of Clinton was really just to cover up the fact that parts of San Diego were being given away to China.
Yeah, oh my God, no,
Yes.
that's actually
simultaneously. That was actually the real reason to. Oh, we better get everybody just watching news about Clinton.
Yeah.
And Monica Lewinsky.
Never mind the fact that he sold Arkansas for fucking cocaine safety port, if you will. Yeah, no, he's deep in it with the cocaine industry.
Oh, of course.
And so is George H.W. Bush. I don't give a fuck that George H.W. Bush is dead. Good for him. Fucking bastard.
Evil.
Yeah, no, it's
Puppy
fucking
Bush.
evil. And, you go, well, this politician's corrupt and this politician's corrupt. Like, our whole fucking system is bad and it's teetering.
Terrible.
It's fucking teetering. And, the only thing that...
We should have one of these called Nazis in America.
I think I have Nazis in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, there you go, yeah. Well, because they are Nazis.
The actual Nazis.
George
We're going to
H.
get
Bush.
thrown through a
They
fucking
are actual
loop.
Nazis, exactly.
We're going to get thrown through a fucking loop when they're like, oh, this is for your safety, this is for your safety. By the way, we're going to exterminate this group of people, right wings. I think Ocasio-Cortez is having a list created for those that aren't really Democrats.
Good luck with that.
She's fucking crazy.
Jesus.
Dude, I look at her and I just see my tax dollars wasted. And they're not even my tax dollars. Like, she has a green suit for the Green New Deal. She has a white suit. She has 5 different types of glasses.
All of those witches wear white suits.
Like,
have you noticed that?
Those suits cost thousands of fucking dollars. And even if it's a tax write-off, because you can't have a fucking, like...
Apparently she cannot afford her rent. I'd like to know how she affords her clothes.
Oh, God. You want to talk about tax evasion? You talk about tax evasion in Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
Give us a thumbs down if you're Ocasio-Cortez.
She's the face.
Oh, Jesus.
She's just... Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. She's so brilliant.
Cute.
Look at her. Oh, she's so
energetic.
Smart.
She's so young
so
and she
smart.
knows everything.
She
doesn't know shit. She doesn't even know how to, afford her own bloody rent. Oh, my God.
But she's from the Bronx, so you gotta
But that's okay. Look, let's just get rid of all cars.
She only spent, 5 years... From a child to 5 years in the Bronx, and her family moved to Winchester.
She's from a rich family, as we have found out.
That background's bullshit.
Oh, God.
If you believe in anything, that background's bullshit.
She's from money.
Yeah, my God, yeah. Oh, she's lavish now. She's lavish now that she got this taxpayer money, and fuck. Oh God, we're going into ADOC.
She's terrible.
The fucking getting Amazon, losing the Amazon deal is the worst fucking thing that could possibly happen.
I mean,
even if
it must have been done by design.
I'm anti-corporatist, don't get me wrong, but if they're like creating 25,000 jobs that have $100,000 a year income with benefits, put that shit in there.
No, we don't want that. We don't want any of that garbage
we don't
over here.
want, we don't want the rich
jobs.
people.
Ugh.
This is exactly what happens with a socialist society.
Of course.
Exactly what happens.
Steal from the middle class, give to everybody else, including the illegals, until the middle class is destroyed, and now you have nothing.
Now you have the rich people, and now you have the poor people, and all
Tiny,
the rich people
tiny numbers of
are fucking
uber
politicians.
rich. Exactly.
Go fucking figure.
Exactly.
Go fucking figure.
Exactly. How are they worth like, $100 million when their salary's like not that much different from mine? Oh, I'd like to know, because I'd like to know their game plan so I can do the same damn thing.
Right?
How is Pelosi
evasion.
worth like, oh God, what is she worth? Oh my God.
It's what
Tens
Nancy
of
Pelosi
millions.
is worth. Drop it in the comment section below.
Oh, well, it's all because of her amazing businesswoman
she's really
wife.
amazing. I'm really for
I don't think so.
Nancy Pelosi because she speaks for me. She's not trying to get political points.
First of all, every single one of those in Congress has insider information, and they can legally use it. They know the legal stuff that's going to go on with certain business deals, massive business deals. So they know ahead of time which way everybody's voting, and so they know which stocks to buy ahead of everybody else. That's not right.
No,
they've been exploiting that system forever.
That's illegal.
Yeah, it should be, but no.
When we talk about being illegal,
Well,
insider trading is illegal.
That should be called insider trading.
Yeah,
exactly.
I woke up this morning and I thought about George Bush and John Kerry. And I was like, I woke up and I was like, there's no fucking way that John Kerry was going to get elected, even after anything. So we're at war with Iraq and Afghanistan, and any president that's in this crisis situation is obviously going to get elected. And then you have John Kerry, who is the hope for replacing George W. Bush, throwing his medals over the White House after coming back from Vietnam, which, if you liked Vietnam, drop it in the comments section below, because I guarantee you, if you were in Vietnam, you didn't, because we had no right being there. We're going to create capitalism in your country that
we're saving you with democracy.
We're saving you with
democracy
from all this dictatorship. We're fucking.
We'll start by controlling the weather and flooding
you
out.
Here for your freedom.
We'll bomb you and flood you out with
Agent
paper.
Orange here.
Agent
Take
Orange?
some Agent Orange and some napalm. That fucks up your DNA and you're being burned alive.
Forever.
Oh my God.
I know. Don't forget depleted uranium. Fired all over the place. Wow.
Oh my
Poor
God.
babies. Poor babies.
Poor bastards. Fuck. Shit.
Agent Orange.
Damn
How
it.
evil is that? Just kill everything in sight. For generations. Haha. Not just immediately.
We're here to save you.
And we'll flood you out too. But hey, we don't have weather control. But in the 60s, we'll flood everything using Operation... what's it called? Popeye. Operation Popeye.
There you go.
Which was early weather control, which doesn't exist, but,
doesn't exist at all.
We were just doing it in the 60s. Jesus. Over Vietnam.
God, chemtrails. I need to grab another soda.
All right. Yeah, let's
so
do this.
you were talking about okay, so welcome to the extended edition. If you're still with us, hit that thumbs up, give us a subscribe, be good to us, give us some support, show that support there in whatever way you can. You were talking about shungite?
Yeah, so I don't know if this stuff works, but I'm going to try it. So it's a kind of a stone, and it's being sold right now for
as a powder.
You can buy it as a powder. You can buy it as a stone, a solid stone. And the powder I have is just
you can mix it with
crushed
paint.
up stones. Yeah.
And then you can create a tinfoil, or you can create a...
I'm going to try
put it
this.
in your hat. You can paint it inside of your hat.
I'm going to do
or your whole house, and it should block radiation, EMF.
By the next time, I'll be able to let you know if it worked or not.
All right, so next week,
I just
Tuesday,
ordered some, yeah. That'll be good.
Holding you to it.
Hell yeah. We should do these kind of sort of experiments and things too.
Yep, no, that's
I am a physicist, so I am supposed to be protecting.
Shit, I am a physicist. What am I doing?
I am protecting. My job. Part of my job is supposed to protect the public from these kind of things that they don't know about, especially when it comes to forms of radiation.
God forbid you do it without a fee. Holy shit! No. Stop! What are you doing?
Well, that's normally reserved for me and my children, but and sometimes, if I've got some good friends, I'll give them some advice too. But yeah.
Shungite.
Yeah.
Shungite. How do you spell that?
Shungite. So it's a kind of a rock or a stone. It seems to have some kind of interaction with electromagnetic radiation. So so like the Wi-Fi, basically Wi-Fi signal, microwaves, it seems to somehow change the way that they propagate. So if you have the shungite, whether it's a slab of it, or I've even heard as powder mixed in with paint. So I'm going to try some experiments by just painting a piece of cardboard and seeing if this cardboard with and without the shungite painted on it, mixed in with some kind of paint, is able to block the signal.
There you
and
go.
To see what kind of difference there is.
I'm excited.
And I'll pretty quickly be able to figure it out. Is it working or is it not?
We'll let you know next week.
I will. And in fact, I'll take some really nice, accurate photographs and some data and numbers and put it in a spreadsheet and actually have some
give you guys some photos.
Some real data. How's that?
Something other than staring at the stars.
Exactly. So that's shungite. I'm also going to try alternative methods such as you can get silver thread. Now, of course, it's expensive. But you can buy silver thread as a mesh. And I would recommend this totally for pregnant women. You can buy these shirts, and they're expensive, but not terribly expensive. We're only talking about $40 to $50 for a shirt that covers your belly, which means your baby is not being influenced bombarded.
Oh my god! So children around here are born with a cleft palate, and I keep preaching about fluoridated water. Our water is terrible, and everyone's like, "Ma ma 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 ma," and I'm like, "Fucking shit." But there was a doctor that said if you get colloidal silver and like pure colloidal silver and swish your mouth out, and just
tastes better.
I gave you the glass bottle. Swish your mouth out for like 60 minutes or 60 seconds, and then spit. You're cleansing your palate. You're cleansing your mouth, and that's going into your bloodstream. And this could possibly help baby fertility.
Cool.
Raising or fertilizing, gestating a healthy baby that isn't fucked up with all the fucking shit we have in our water.
Oh my God,
I'm a huge advocate of. Telepathically, I'm a huge advocate for Sam's Club. I'm not a fan of Aquafina or Dasani. You have that, there was that microbe that was a deadly microbe that was found in Dasani.
Stuff is just
and
disgusting.
There was that, I had dreams. I was drinking Aquafina. I'm like, I'm going to drink pure water. I'm going to drink Aquafina. And they might, change this after hearing about it because Jack Steve. I had a dream. I was drinking Aquafina and I dreamt that I was at a sewage facility and there was this toilet paper and all this garbage and I'm like, that was after drinking Aquafina and I never have vivid dreams like that. And I'm like, I am never fucking drinking Aquafina again.
Wow.
Because you don't know. You don't know where this water is being purified. If it's being purified at all.
Exactly.
Or what's being added to it. Fucking formaldehyde, or not formaldehyde, fluoride. Fluoride is definitely in our water.
Wait a minute. Here's the sickest part of all. Fluoride is sick, okay? And it's sodium fluoride, which is exactly the ingredient in rat poison. It's not just pure fluoride, it's sodium fluoride. Okay, not just this. Yeah, so it's the exact same
I drink
ingredient
Sam's
of...
Club, and I believe that these companies are preparing for an apocalyptic event, and they need clean water, and I think that's where their water is going to come from. It's from these facilities.
Whoa.
If you are against Sam's Club water, drop it in the comment section below. Let me know
it's
so
Walmart.
that I can. I mean, it is Walmart, but they have bunkers underneath their facility. If not missile silos or whatever, but they are preparing for an event. Walmart, martial law,
FEMA camps, yeah.
FEMA camps. Mm-hmm. They need water. That's one of their That's one of the assets that they need to harbor these people that are going to come in fucking troves.
Well, doesn't Pepsi and Coca-Cola own most of the water on planet Earth now?
Yeah, they own Dasani and they own
Disgusting.
Aquafina.
And not only that, but like the beautiful water over like...
Heavy editing, we jump topics, and we're going to choose another topic.
Okay.
Pick it up, Dr. Deepbluethought. Let's go. Pick a good one. Pick a good one.
Here we go.
We might do one or two more.
The Mark of the Beast.
The Mark of the Beast.
This is really deep. Okay.
Go.
Most people are worried about the Mark of the Beast being some kind of
microchip
or a sign either on their forehead, tattoo, or on their
hand.
Right hand. Right palm? No, not palm.
Palm or wrist.
But or their hand, or an implant, or something like this. That is considered the Mark of the Beast.
And you should avoid the Mark of the Beast, because then you are not going to get into heaven. If
some people think the Mark of the Beast is Bitcoin.
I think it's,
cryptocurrency.
I think it's cell phones, really, is part of the Mark of the Beast. It's part of this beast technology. Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, yes, is leading into a chip-type currency that is digital, 100% digital.
Which can be switched off at any point by the authorities.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where, you know what, I would like to just, I believe that, however you want to think of this Mark of the Beast, whether it's complete government control of finances, whether it's a chip where all your money and your value and everything is on, and all your information, which can be wiped out at any point.
If you don't meet the social requirements.
Exactly. Which is happening in China, right?
Yeah. China has it now.
What is that movie, TV show called Black Mirror?
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror kind of like jokingly, half-jokingly, describes this whole scenario, which is happening right now already in China. It's already happening.
They show you what they're going to do, and then they do it. 9/11 is another thing. I remember seeing... You see these posters in Johnny Bravo, or... I remember Johnny Bravo quite vividly. They had a poster that had a plane crashing into a building, and it said, "Coming soon." And there were the Twin Towers, and it said, "Coming soon." Wow. And I'm like, huh. And it was on screen for like a couple of minutes. And I was like, when are we going to see that movie?
Well, there's Beavis and Butthead.
I was in 5th grade, and I was like...
flying around they had one episode where...
South Park had one as well. They do this wink, which is the all-seeing eye, which is... They do this wink to one another to let them know what's going on, what the plan is, to all the other Masonic lounges.
Well, here's a question.
What's going on?
Who built the World Trade Center complex?
I don't know.
Oh, I do.
You go for it.
Oh, it was the father of Osama bin Laden. Oh, you didn't know this?
Oh, fucking way.
Oh, but it's
Get
just
the fuck
a
out of here.
It's just a
Get
coincidence.
the fuck out of here.
Oh,
Get
you
the
didn't
fuck outta
know
here.
this.
I was telling
Oh,
Bin Laden's
father,
not
yes,
killed.
who was a billionaire construction dude.
No fucking way.
Oh,
no fucking
if people
way.
do not know this, they need to
we're
look this
gonna
up.
get so many thumbs
But
down
wait,
now.
are you telling me that the Bushes might actually be buddy with the Bin Ladens? No, surely not. This sounds like a truthspiracy. But it's
Thank
actually,
you for nailing that.
But it's actually the truth. Yeah.
No fucking way.
I know,
No
I know,
fucking
I
way.
know,
No
I know.
fucking way.
I know, right?
I can't publish
Talk
this.
about trying to kick you in the balls. It's like, oh, we're gonna chase Osama bin Laden through the mountains.
Through the mountains.
Through the mountains. Oh,
And all of a sudden, we're invading Iraq now.
by the way, who built the World Trade Center? Oh, his dad. Give me a break.
Jesus.
I know. It's just too much. It's too much to take in.
If you have made it this far, please tell me. Please correct Dr. Deepbluethought.
You wish I'm telling lies.
I do. I want you to be wrong so bad. Here's
I'm gonna go even further.
This is the truth. I did not expect that at all.
Oh, I'm gonna go even further.
He's gonna go further. Go further.
There is a video. Now, I remember watching this a long time ago. There's a video where, before the towers are built, you have the construction people coming in and saying, where shall we put the bombs? Yeah, please somebody find this for me. I haven't seen this for years, but I know I've seen it because it blew my mind. Even if they were joking about it, this is not something you joke about. Unless, what? You were actually planning for such a sacrifice to happen at some point in the future? Now that we know about geometria and the way that the world, is organized and how how it's all satanic and how they want these sacrifices on certain very, 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 very extremely important dates and times to them, now that I know this stuff, I start to accept it and believe it. It's horrible and horrific. Yeah, I'm sorry. Your host is still in shock and unable to speak right now. When he heard of the fact, I'm going to watch his face.
All right,
in fact, I'm going to film his face as we watch the video that proves this is after this broadcast.
So this is
that in fact the Bin Laden Senior built the World Trade Tower Center complex, the whole complex.
Why I don't let my family know what about this podcast. 2, if you have any side evidence, I will gladly accept it. I will not take it down because we didn't start talking about this until hour 12.
You can find all the evidence you want by just typing in this one little tiny phrase. All you got to do is type in. Wait. Bin Laden family built the World Trade Center.
And it was,
do it
I
right
do know
now.
that it was held up with paper clips and bubble gum, but Jesus, I did not know. There's no fucking fuck me.
I know this is how you feel when you find out. For the first time. How could such a what? You feel like an idiot. Yes. In fact, what we should do is just stop this broadcast. Watch one video or 2 and then come back to the broadcast. And then I want to see what your views are. Let's do this.
Hour 15. So we're back. And what we were able to Google is Bin Laden construction company to be able to find that the Bin Laden construction company did work on half of the World Trade Center.
World Trade Center. They worked on it. Now it says they worked on it.
Now it says they worked on it. It might be a...
Previously, I was pretty sure they actually did the construction.
It might be a VPN to find the actual...
We'll come up with some thanks after the
Welcome to the Mother Bunker Files, ladies and gentlemen, where we discuss Bin Laden's father working on the Trade Center. That is utter fucking craziness. I'm gonna fucking drop a thing to make it so that you can jump to this point. Grab yourself another soda out of the fridge.
All right.
And pull another.
All right. The next topic is.
I can't.
I know you're in.
Hold on. I'm still in shock. Like, my fucking friends fought in the Middle East and have come home with some serious fucking mental damage of just dealing with that shit. And you're telling me that the whole thing was fucking orchestrated from the fucking get-go, from the fucking building
I have a
building?
Sick feeling that even if it wasn't like right from the beginning a plot to actually
I'm fucking ready
sacrifice the two towers simultaneously.
They had to destroy
I believe
the towers. They were fucking leaning.
Oh yeah, well I don't know if they were leaning, but the just the one fact alone, the amount of what is that material in there that causes lung cancer and all
asbestos.
Asbestos, right. So the amount of asbestos alone meant that there was no way to
actually like strip the asbestos.
Actually, it was going to cost an absolute fortune to take these buildings down. And in fact, they were getting to a point where they needed to be taken down. But you couldn't do it in such a way because the asbestos and many other factors, the fact that it's in the middle of New York, there was actually no way of taking these buildings down in a financially viable manner.
And a lot of those firefighters...
But hey, let's just do some insurance fraud. That's never been done before.
On a monumental scale.
Well, maybe not on that scale, but hey, it was done on the scale it was done at the scale of the sinking of the Titanic.
Yeah.
Insurance fraud.
I don't like that one. Grab another.
Oh.
Grab a thing.
Yeah.
You're
still in shock.
I am still in shock. I do worry about getting EMF'd, getting decayed again. I'm doing all right, so avoiding it. But fuck, you start talking about 9/11 being 100% a fraud.
Totally.
From Osama bin Laden.
Well, Larry Silverstein, Silver is always a good thing to remember, but Silverstein is not a very good thing to remember.
Buy all the more reason to buy precious metals whenever you can.
Mm-hmm. Not only was it a gigantic insurance fraud, but there were hundreds of tons of gold, by the way.
In there?
Oh, underneath.
Underneath?
The World Trade Center. And, oh, by the way, every single block, every single brick of gold disappeared, except for one truck, fully loaded. So obviously somebody in advance was fully loading all of the trucks full of gold. Yeah, one truck was found by Giuliani. That's a well-known thing. Mayor Giuliani of New York at that time.
Of course.
Rescued the one truck full of gold, but actually there were many trucks already disappeared.
Well, thank God for him saving his gold.
Well,
but it's an asset that you don't need because it never goes up in value,
according to the Federal Reserve.
Oh yeah,
it's not even money. It's not money.
It's not money.
It just has nice historical value.
More room for me.
Okay.
What did you get?
Exactly. The fourth dimension. Woo!
What do you mean by that? Fuck, man. Like, I don't know. Like, going from, like, fucking 9/11 to the fourth dimension.
Boy. What do you want to make of that?
Jesus Christ. So.
What do you mean by the fourth dimension? Time, you mean?
I mean, like, we're living in the three-dimensional world, and we're supposed to go into a fourth dimensional where we can see these elves, the gray elves, and the other things that are a part of our reality that we can't perceive, but
Right.
like going into like more crystalline world.
Fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional, etc. Yeah. So, like in physics terms, the fourth dimension will be considered time, but on another way of looking at it is time is just a time is not real, doesn't exist, and it's just a construct that allows us to experience this reality in a way that makes sense to us, so that we move through the physical in a way that seems to make sense to us in terms of evolving through something, using time as something that we can understand. But so there's some kind of logical progression. However, according to physics, there's no such thing as time. It just makes everything work out for us. There is nothing. It's all an illusion. And we could say that even our reality is an illusion. We can say that on multiple levels. That time is an illusion. It's a very... I mean, we all perceive it. We seem to perceive it as if it's real. But is it? That's the question. So maybe time is the fourth dimension, but maybe there's another... Maybe there's 10 dimensions, 11 dimensions, according to some models of physics. And we can't experience any of those other than the three physical dimensions, and then time, which is all part of space-time.
Yeah.
According to our sort of understanding of it, which may or may not be true.
There we go.
What is this?
CERN.
Oh boy.
The unicorn, the rainbow.
CERN.
Let's just make this an hour and a half long. We got 10 minutes left. Let's talk about CERN.
All right.
With all this fucking Osama bin Laden's father building the World Trade Center to be destroyed, to place explosives in advance at free fall. Building 7. I mean, that's the thing that wakes most people up, is the false flag of 9/11. That it was all fake or planned. That it was all planned. Jesus. Now we have this building, CERN, which has like all these scientists are atheists, but they have a statue of Shiva on their front
the destroyer.
The destroyer.
The destroyer, yeah. I know. That is kind of weird.
Isn't it? And you know, how convenient is it that every pop artist, every
by the way,
every director, everyone involved with the Oscars is an atheist, but
but they'll happily thank Satan.
Say Satan. Yep.
Yeah. They'll thank Satan openly.
Which is how the devil works. I think the devil's greatest mystery is
greatest trick.
Greatest trick is acting like he doesn't exist, and he exists in so many different ways.
CERN's little ceremony that they did, which is on YouTube. You can watch it. Watch their ceremony.
Yeah,
it's nothing but Satanism.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I believe that a few people were killed. Sorry, not killed.
Died. Sacrificed.
Yeah. Died during the construction, but the way that their death is glorified during that opening ceremony. You watch these workers; they're like pretending to work. They're actors, obviously, these ones.
Oh yeah. But
then they fall down really rapidly, and that's like to almost celebrate their death or their sacrifice as part of the building of that tunnel. So there was a tunnel, and they when they completed it, it's close to CERN. Through the mountains of Switzerland, and they, as part of their celebration, as part of their opening ceremony, they did that crazy satanic, ceremony.
Yeah, that's what it ended up being. All right,
good old CERN. That's something that we can go deep on that one.
That is going to be added back.
That needs
to the
like its own show just for that. Yeah. CERN is like, wow.
Yeah, because you know all this weird stuff is happening, and like even them are experiencing these weird spiritual things.
Alternate realities can be tied in with that. Yeah, that's a deep topic.
We're gonna cut it there. If you've made it this far, hit a thumbs up or a comment down below what you liked, what you didn't like. I'm used to getting told what you didn't like, so it doesn't really affect me that much. Jeez Louise.
That was a good one.
What an episode there. As always, thank you, Dr. Deepbluethought, for sacrificing your time for us.
My pleasure.
And we will see you next Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you're tuning in.
Cool.
Tuning in. Oh, shit.
You're still in shock.
I'm still in shock.
You're going to have to do some research on that.
God bless you and your families. Be safe out there, everyone. Bottle of charcoal and sea salt will save you from these negative entities.
Ooh, what time is it? You got to end on 11:11.
God, 11, we're gonna end on 11:11.
Yes, let's do it. It's perfect.
This guy with his 11:11 has been coming up to me. He's like, every time I look at the clock, it's either 11:11 or 1:10 or.
Yeah. That
just means that we're on to something.
Soon it'll be a new number.
We're gonna have T-shirts in a couple of months if the economy doesn't completely crash. Jesus, we have the New Year of Enoch.
Oh boy, 2 quarters, and I think all hell is gonna break loose. That's it. Yeah. Financially, in every way.
Easily, it's on its way down.
11:11.
All right,
let's shut it down.
Peace to the true ones. What's up?